If you're new to pattern making and wondering if this is the right thing to learn for you, then make sure to keep on watching this video, because today I'll walk you through 7 reasons why every fashion designer should master the skill. For the best tips and advice on creating your own patterns, as well as becoming a fashion designer, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I post new videos every week. Hey designers, if we haven't met yet, my name is Kim Dubois and I know pattern making. Not only did I train in Italy, but also had the chance to create dozens of custom-made outfits for private clients since. Today, I decided to talk about a few reasons that convinced me to master pattern making when I began studying in fashion school. I started, like many designers do, on my own. And 8 years ago, there were not many tools or videos online on the subject. So I took a back-to-basics approach and used traditional fashion books. And it took me 2 whole months to create my first dress. I thought it looked good, but in reality, it was unwearable due to my lack of skills and knowledge. And to be honest, it was a long and challenging journey. Trust me, looking back, getting enrolled in school was the easiest part of the whole adventure. I personally struggled in the beginning to understand the different steps of the process in pattern making. This is why, along the way, to help me stay on track, I created a framework so I could better focus on pattern and garment construction details. So for those interested in learning pattern making and creating your own garments, I strongly suggest that you get your copy of my 9-step pattern making framework. You can find the link in the description box below this video. So without further talk, let's begin with reason number 1, make your vision into prototypes. When you begin studying fashion design, it can be very frustrating to design without having anything concrete to look at. Having been there myself, designing collection on paper was great, but once I started to give birth to my own creations, a whole new world opened. As a designer, when you learn pattern making, you can begin to develop your own portfolio to showcase to future clients. And most importantly, understand what is doable from what is not, so you can design to create. Number 2, you can start as a freelance. When I chose to focus on pattern making and garment construction, I had no clue that it would bring me where it did. Within a year of learning, I started to custom-made outfits for private clients. And this is mainly because they saw what I was doing, and on my part, I could easily sell as I knew the work and quality behind it. I'm glad I made that decision, considering that in the end, nobody buys perfectly done designs, but they do buy perfectly done garments. Number 3, it allows you to collaborate with pattern makers. For those who didn't know, being a pattern maker is a career on its own. Knowing how to create your own patterns as a designer helps you not only interpret, but also explain your design ideas with technical ability. And this is important because it facilitates the communication if or when you will collaborate with professional pattern makers, so they go on to create what you really want. Not to mention that it also evitates many back and forth that can become costly, especially when you are on a budget when starting. So if you agree with me that it is crucial to communicate your design ideas clearly, make sure to let me know by liking this video. Number 4, analyze the quality of the work. In the fashion industry, whether it's commercial or private, as a designer, you need to be able to review samples and make adjustments when needed. Whether you think you need or don't need to be able to analyze the quality of a garment, in reality, it is one of the things designers needs to be able to do. Double check orders to always make sure they get what they paid for. This becomes even more important if you work as a freelance and you can't tell good from bad. Chances are you will lose credibility with your clients, and also you won't know the different ways you can create a garment to enter in a specific budget to satisfy different needs. Number 5, save you time. Pattern making can be time consuming, so the clearer you are on what you're trying to achieve, the quicker it will be completed. Once you understand the basics, it will be easier to create what you want. And I would add that it is crucial that you learn the basics the right way, because as we all know, bad habits are hard to change. Number 6, work at your own pace. As the old saying says, time is money. So if you're in a creative state and trying different versions of a prototype, if you know pattern making, you won't be pressed by the salary of your employee, which makes a huge difference, especially when beginning. You want to be able to work freely without external pressure. Number 7, save you money. This is mainly due to the cost of hiring a pattern maker. For your information, pattern makers in the fashion industry are relatively well paid, especially if they do work for themselves. Their hourly rates usually range between $50 and $80, and they can also be hired to work on private projects where the rates are usually between $500 and $1,000. This is great news for those wanting to work for themselves. Now that you know the reasons, I believe pattern making is a must. I would be curious to know if any of the tips resonate with you. So be sure to leave it in the comment section below this video. Also, make sure to check out my 9-step pattern making framework if you're interested in learning pattern making or still struggling to understand the different steps of the process. If this video was helpful, give it a big thumbs up, be sure to subscribe, and join me in my Facebook group community for weekly advice and tips on pattern making, as well as becoming a fashion designer. Keep on creating, and I will see you in the next video.